Hey guys, I'm Mitch, one of the hosts of the show. Before we start, I just wanted to thank you all for listening and tell you something cool. In the description of the episode, there's a link to our Discord if you want to just come hang out with us. We stream there, watch movies, game together, and just hang out. You can even be a guest host on our show and suggest games for us to play and review. So don't be shy, just come hang out with us. It'll be fun. Also, there's a link to our Facebook so you can join the page and give it a like, and it helps a lot if you do. Same with giving us a 5-star review on iTunes and writing something small, even if it's just, hey guys, like that'll do. That's fine. It really does help us get to the top of the charts. Thank you all again, and let's get on with the show. Welcome to the Tire Couch Podcast. I'm your host, Mitch. And always, we have Mike.
Yo.
And today we're going to be talking about the anime Shangri-La. Sorry, we still do not have a template down or anything, any formation in which we're going to be doing animes yet. We're going to have to work on that. But that will be fixed soon. But before we talk about it, what's been going on, Mike? What have you been doing?
I don't know. Slay the Spire. For some reason, I thought of sticking my fist in a paper bag and just like fisting the bag. I just think it'd be like one of the most annoying noises you could probably make over audio.
Yeah, don't do that. I think the worst one is chips.
Chips. Chips are just like inherently awful.
Just
them out. Every part of the process makes noise.
Have you gotten any farther in Slay the Spire?
I beat Ascension level 6 with Silent.
Explain.
After the first time you beat Slay the Spire, there is what is called Ascension levels, and they go up to 20. And they're basically the same game with some alterations.
What, like harder enemies, less cards? Explain what Slay the Spire is for new listeners, though. Because we talked about this a long time ago.
Card game, which you have specific types of cards based off of what character you pick, and you gain cards every time you fight an enemy, and there are epic enemies that will give you relics that alter how your character plays. You can upgrade the cards at fire pits, and you can upgrade them or heal at fire pits, and it's like this like spider web of a map that you select through. And there's 3 maps, a boss at the end of each map. You have to navigate through, play your cards right, and survive.
Nice. What ascension are you at now? Sorry.
Is it? What would you call that? Roguelite, right?
It seems like a roguelike dungeon crawler card game to me.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But, what ascension level are you at?
I was gonna check, but I'm currently in a match. I think I'm at 14 with the defect. Now I'm at 7 with the silent, and I'm still at ascension level 1 with the iron side. I haven't beat the game with the witch yet.
Nice. Is that all you've been doing?
Pretty much. I played a few rounds of FTL. That was a while back.
Oh. Well, that's
yeah. Interchangeably play them like it fucking habitually. and just sorry.
Oh, every time you play FTL, I just see your ship in ruins. Like every time you turn it on, you're like, oh no, everybody's died. I'm locked in.
Yeah, FTL is, you can soft lock yourself like super easy in that game.
I hate that.
Yeah. Well, it's like, say the door room is, busted. It means your doors won't open or close. So they're stuck in the position they're in. So that means you could have like all your rooms not have air in them but one, and then have like your one shipmate or a few shipmates with like no health, not in your medical bay, and they would have to walk through the airless zones and they would suffocate because they like slowly lose health. So if you're already at low health, you're like stuck in that room essentially.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think that's what happened last time I saw you beat that up at my house.
Yeah. It's usually what happens is like, I'm in a fight and, by a sun, and suns are a special like field event that randomly makes fires burst on your, rooms.
Damn. Yeah, no, fuck that. I want to play the game, but I don't want to play that game because of every time you say something about it. I'm just like, oh, that's just something I would not enjoy.
Yeah, FTL is a roguelite, and it's one of the roguelites where you will just have a fuck run. Like, it feels like at least 30% of them are like that.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, it's a pretty unfair and punishing game, I would say.
Nice. I've been playing Shante and the Seven Sirens, which I just got. I've been playing a Shante game since like last year, but having a lot of fun, especially with it being like the newest one. It has like a lot more. If you look at all the other ones, like through time, obviously, as usual, the graphics get better, but seems like 100% like different graphically. And it seems a lot faster. So I've been having a lot of fun doing that. Beat 2 out of the 7 Sirens so far. It's roughly taken me like hour and a half to like get to and do the dungeon and beat the boss. So, yeah. And I upgraded everything early this time, unlike the last Shante game, where I didn't realize I could do that till like halfway through the game. So I'm just whipping my hair back and forth like hard in that.
Well, I hate you.
Well, you whip your hair to damage them. What?
That was worse than a dad joke or a pun.
Yes. Yes. We played some D&D at my house. Did a one-off pirate game with our buddy Sean, who we play our normal D&D game with every week. And that was a blast. Everybody's pretty fucked up, seemed like. Except for maybe Sebastian and Jenna.
I got to do my plan and it succeeded in like the best way possible.
I like how the whole time it's like Sebastian's just a turtle being my first mate since I'm the captain. He's like, we should do this, and I'm like, no, we send everybody to their deaths or we fucking all live. It's one or the other. That's just what's gonna happen. Bro, I messaged him earlier. I messaged Sean earlier. I was like, dude, when you brought out Morgan, I just couldn't handle myself. Like the stupid fucking. I was like, who's the dumbest one on our crew? And it's Jiminy, and that fucking face he made, dude.
I didn't see.
Oh my god, bro. That's why we were laughing. Me and Taylor were just rolling. And fucking. Then he's like, after he goes away and I send him to his death, just for no reason at all. I'm Morgan, his brother. I'm like, oh. So it's just like two completely opposite brothers. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was solid. He broke out the union thing, too. There's no fucking union in piracy. Fuck is that?
What you were talking about earlier with Shante looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't have much of a trouble with how games look. Like the original NES games, like Mega Man and Mario. I think Mario. I forget. Mario might be a little more polished than that. But they have certain times where it's whenever there's a lot of shit on screen, the main character will just disappear. I hate that, and I hate it's hard for me to go back to some 64 games and PS1 games because they're absolutely hideous.
PS1 games. People can say N64 is ugly as much as they want. But these same people apparently seem to not remember PS1 games. When everything is supposed to be a sphere or a straight line or a cone, it always has angles in it for no fucking reason. It's like,
it's thinking of Final Fantasy VII. What would you call that? Out of battle sprites.
Yeah,
model.
Hideous.
Yeah. They had little stick arms and shit.
Yeah, and the muscles were just balls with angles.
Yeah.
And the hair was cones, but they weren't cones, they were more prisms.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man. I mean, 64, they didn't try to hide it or anything. They were just like, this is what this is. And it looks okay. The PS1 was just like, look at these ridiculous fucking people. And, yeah, what you were saying, though, I've never seen the main character disappear when there's a bunch of shit on screen.
Yeah, that happens in the original NES games a lot.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with the way Shante looks in any game. I just see it progressively, looking better, but keeping its true to self, form.
Yeah.
Which is sick. So, I don't know, the aesthetic is just so much different in this one. Like it a lot.
I don't know if it's the DS version or what the fuck is going on, but original Mario, used weird colors too. There's it's a light off blue for the water and shit.
Yeah.
Everything looks weird.
Like Yoshi's Island 2 or whatever with Baby Mario. They had a specific color palette for that, and it was pastel but not pastel. I don't know what you would call it. It's baby colors.
Is that Yoshi's Story? Or Yoshi Island, yeah.
Yoshi Island, yeah.
That one's weird, cause I think the art style in the levels is top notch.
Mm-hmm.
But the overworld is ugly as shit.
I don't even remember the overworld.
It looks like a completely different game.
Oh.
Like a computer game or some shit.
And it's funny though too, because if you take a 3D N64 game, like Mario 64, yeah, his fists should have been round, but they have the angles like we were talking about. But you know what it is, and it looks close enough to what it is to not bother you. But if you go to Yoshi's Story, where it's a 2D, quote unquote 2D, 3D, same thing with Kirby, the 2.5D or whatever.
Yeah.
They are rounded. They're not fucking angly. Kirby does not have an angle on him.
Yeah.
Which I think is really strange, that they can pull off the 2.5 without doing the angles. but
That's
not
shit,
the
right?
3D. Huh?
It's newer shit without TVs. CRT TVs.
No, I'm just talking about back then.
Yeah. Yeah, but CRT, like the CRT pixels or whatever.
Yeah.
They're pretty big and ugly.
Oh.
So things it makes them look kind of more squarish in general.
Yeah, and I don't understand. And same thing with the, if you, like, say, for instance, you get the 3D All-Stars, the Mario thing for the Switch. When you play 64 on it, it's literally the same thing, just angly and weird. And you throw in, and then you'll get, like, the Switch emulator on the N64, or the N64 emulator on the Switch, and you'll play Kirby. Kirby still looks just as round as he was back on the N64. It's like, I don't know. That's why I'm like, I don't know if it's the pixels. I just don't know if they knew how to like, granted 3D was new, but.
Okay, you're talking about the crystal.
Yeah.
Crystal.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He was perfectly round, and they pulled off 2.5D perfectly. But 3D, it's like, no, everything's angles. Everything has to have an angle in it.
Well, that was, I think everything was made out of polygons still. Like, I'm pretty sure Star Fox 64 was like all triangles.
Oh yeah, it's all triangles. Even the fucking beams you shoot were triangles. Like, the explosions blew up into triangles. Well,
They're
kinda.
triangles, bro.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, you take Mario, your flagship thing, and you weren't able to pull off what you did with Kirby. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, why?
Yeah, Mario's hat's pointed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's just strange. But yeah, back to the D&D thing. Finally made myself a genie. And I got to control the wind, and I already asked him when the next thing was, and he's like, I'm going to start working on it. So.
Continuation?
Yeah. I want him to make it like Jiminy's Journey or some shit. Be so funny. I didn't tell him that. Whatever he comes up with, I don't care. We always end up having fun with it. So
I think we should level up.
I'm sure we'll level up just because of the fact that we beat that crazy ass boss.
Yeah. Then we'd have to redo our sheets. So.
I didn't think Taylor was going to be that much of use. She came in like serious use at the very end of the game when she needed to be.
Me and Becca destroyed the statue.
Yeah, I know. I was just surprised that, because I looked at her sheet, I was like, fucking Screech, it pins her. Like, we could just do whatever we want as long as you keep her pinned with the Screech. It's like, fuck it. And surprisingly, it worked. I did not know that much about that attack.
I was distracted. Because it was like so close to what I wanted.
Yeah, well, normally Taylor's like an RP, just hanging out, vibing character.
Yeah.
So I was like, holy shit.
She looked at the gold first.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. I don't know, I was laughing too hard at everything.
Yep.
But, Shangri-La Frontier?
Absolutely.
Alright, Shangri-La Frontier. It's on Crunchyroll. That's mostly how we're gonna be doing all these animes. It comes from a manga and a web cartoon or something like that. I forget exactly what it is.
Web comic or webtoon?
Yeah, webtoon. There you go. Or webcomic. I don't know. Whatever.
That's how One Punch Man started as well.
Nice. It's about a guy who loves trash games and this is like all VR. So he loves playing trash games that have tons of glitches that he likes to exploit and like learn. And he just buries himself in trash games. And then one day, somebody's like, because he doesn't know what to play next, and he's like, just try a good fucking game for once. The girl at the game shop tells him, and he does. And he's like, holy fucking shit, this is awesome. Why have I been playing trash games? And then he uses his knowledge from trash games and MMOs and such to run rampant in this world. Because he's the protagonist, so he's obviously going to be good at everything.
Yeah.
It's basically just like SAO. It's more popular anime. You get stats, new weapons, forge and shit. The thing is, he runs into a special scenario, quote unquote, where he meets this little bunny, and this bunny takes him back to like her home. And there's this dude named Vash. The little bunny's name is Emil. But there's this giant boss that's also her dad. It's this giant bunny in a Komodo, and he just like teaches him the way of the quote unquote Vorpal soul that still, I'm on like episode 18. Mike made it to like 12. And we still don't know what the fuck a Vorpal soul is. But every time he leaves, he's like, just believe and remember in your Vorpal soul.
It's just some Yu-Gi-Oh shit.
It's some what?
Yu-Gi-Oh shit.
Like the heart of the cards?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought there was actually something to it.
I'm pretty sure it's just some Yu-Gi-Oh shit.
Oh. Basically, the story follows Sinraku, and that's the main dude's name. He dresses really weird in nothing but shorts and a bird helmet. Is it a helmet? Mask. And he's a glass cannon build, and he's super fast, and bases his build on luck on top of it.
Yeah. I think you can do that. I think I remember doing luck builds in Fallout 4. There's like a bunch of perks that went with it. Like you could stack criticals and bank them.
Yeah, that's pretty much how he runs this one.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of the criticals seem like situational in the anime. Like how he like stabbed that wolf or whatever and then like sliced its butt in the same spot.
Yeah, he has to, if you damage an enemy in the game, and then you keep hitting the damaged spot, you'll get criticals.
Yeah, and it seems like also he's fighting, the fuck's it called? The thing that cursed him.
Lycan Wolf or something like that? There's like these 7 deities, essentially. They're super bosses, and some people have encountered like 4 of them, and 3 of them have never even been seen. And that's where I'm at in the story, where he's fighting this one called Weathermon the Tomb Guard. And he's like this, he looks like a robot samurai, but he's not a robot, he's undead. And he's just like super hard and almost impenetrable, and you have to, it turns into a situational fight, like in MMOs and other things like that, there's like conditions to fights to win them, and he explains all that in the fucking game. And this one is, the first 2 phases you have to just survive for 10 minutes each, and as the phases go up, it gets harder, and there'll be like, his fucking robot horse, which is definitely 100% a fucking robot, like, shows up, and they have to keep him from merging. And in the 3rd phase, that horse turns into a giant fucking robot that the other 2 fight while he fights the samurai. And that's like, what is it?
Like, some things will do it, like how, what was that? Something Horizon.
Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah. Like they'll do the, humanity made these robots and then were destroyed by them, and that's how this, like, have a primitive culture with high technology. And then there's like in Naruto, there's like electric lights and shit and power lines. And I'm just wondering how you feel about the, like, fantasy with sci-fi kind of merge.
That's the thing about this robot horse thing. It has no backstory. It's just summoned in the second phase.
Yeah.
There's no backstory to it. It's just like, you cannot allow them to merge. Essentially. And last 10 minutes. And yeah, that's essentially it. But like, when it comes to what you're talking about, it makes sense. It makes sense, but like, I'm not into like mechs and robots and shit like that in my animes or games. So I generally am just kind of like, meh. But I did play Horizon Zero Dawn and I had a lot of fun with it.
Let's see, like, I was thinking about, in my fantasy endeavors, I was thinking, like, about how to set a scene. And it's like I made it to, like, candles were lighting or something. And it's like, and there was, like, other lights that were lighter than the candles. And it's like, do we have bright lights that were like lamps that make candles brighter? Or, like, is that just, like, an electric thing? And I'm just so used to having electric light bulbs that's, like, something that just didn't seem out of place to me, but probably would be.
What is this in?
Like, for example, like Naruto, like, they have electric lights and they have power lines. And it's like, how the fuck do you have those?
Oh.
You know, because guns are a simpler invention than light bulbs, and they don't have guns. Well, I think they might have, like, cannons and shit in Naruto. Naruto's like, they had this train that shot shurikens out of it, and it's like, okay, that's like some next level tech right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen like 2 or 3 episodes of Naruto, so I don't know much about that world. But, no, I mean, I don't know. You notice a lot of shit like that I just kind of just watch the show and I don't really take that stuff in. I'm just too focused on dialogue and what's actually going on.
Yeah. Well, it's like, there's like a scene in Naruto where they're walking on a trail and they're passing power lines, and, like, that was just so normal. I never really thought about it until somebody pointed it out to me.
Yeah, I have no idea. What I do like about this anime, though, is a lot of animes will just, like, skip shit. Like, and just say it happened in the time in between episodes, essentially. Like, oh, I got this, and then they'll have, like, a super quick flashback or no flashback at all of what happened and, like, how you obtain this item. This one's like, hey, like, there's a whole episode of him fighting this fucking giant Hercules beetle in this forest, and its armor's like all cracked and shit, and it busts, and he takes all of its armor and then all of its pieces and shit, and, like, makes armor out of them. And shit like that. And he'll use that in, like, the fight against Weathermon and stuff like that. So, I do like the important, like, note to show that this is what happened, and we're just not skipping shit. And plus, they made a whole episode out of it that was entertaining and good. So, I mean.
Well, usually what happens is, it's like, I think it's called, like, Deus Ex Machina. It's like, the, writer puts the protagonists in a situation that they have to create something that didn't necessarily exist, but because they control the world, they can just say it exists.
Yeah.
And that's like their little patch on it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it to save episode time or whatever the fuck, but like, I just like how they paid special detail to that. Which is, they did not show him getting it forged, but they showed him getting the pieces for it. The only thing they showed him getting forged were his 2 new daggers.
Yeah.
But like, in the middle of this fight, he like popped on this helmet and like parried this thing's attack with his helmet. Because you can parry with the Stag Beetle helmet. But, I mean, they go through all the stages of showing everything for the most part, which is nice. And they put like a little bit of lore behind everything. What happens in the show, essentially, is there is a group of PKers, player killers, and you can just straight steal all your shit if you die. Like, I can just totally Valheim you. Like, you die, I just take all your shit. It's fine. Like, but there's like a gang of them, and this girl, I forget her name, but they call her the Pencil Knight, and she's the one that actually takes him to Weathermon and betrays the PK guild and brings up an uprising of other guilds that all just assault that entire place, and they run through the back end of that base because they're already there, like they're already hidden. And they run through there and get to the boss door. And once you get through the boss door, those people can't retaliate back through there to hide because somehow they just like hid in the boss room or some shit. I don't know. It's weird. So they just basically annihilate that guild of player killers. And she helps them fight Weathermon. But meanwhile, during the whole show, there's this like love interest. It's not a love interest. The girl is interested in him. Psyker Zero. She's this girl that plays a giant armored out knight that's like maxed out level 99.
Called the Attack Master.
Yeah, they call her the Attack Master, but her name's Psyker Zero. I don't know. But she like struggles with it in real life because she knows him in real life and wants to talk to him and hang out with him. So then she finds him in the game and struggles with even sending him an invite, and she's like terrified. And he's like, "What up?" And like she freaks out, and then he's like, "Oh, I can't party with you right now." And every time she goes to talk to him, she's in the real world or anywhere, she like does not know what to say, and I kind of hate that. In animes. I really do. In animes, whenever people set up like love shit like that, and like one character acts this way, it's like you're just holding off everything. It's like, just, why do you make somebody so ridiculously anxious and scared to talk to somebody else?
That's fun for a lot of people.
I hate it. I get it, you're building it up. But there's a point where you're building up too much and trying way too hard to build it up in the worst kind of way.
Well, the thing is, like, there's a lot of animes that are built around, like, will they, won't they things. So it's like, you kind of can't ever let them get together, because it's just kind of like,
Yeah, it's still like too early in the show. I am continuing watching it because I do enjoy it a lot. So I will update to find out. But that's how they did it in, like you said, will they, won't they? That's how they did it in Rent a Girlfriend. But they actually like made them like slowly like each other more, which I think is a lot better than constantly being afraid. Granted, it was a totally different situation, but I mean, like they just turned into actual friends instead of renting her as a girlfriend, even though he still rented her as a girlfriend. They were still friends.
Yeah.
And it's always, will they, won't they? They get really close, then they back it off, and they get really close, and they back it off. And then I think in the end of that anime, I think they might No, teaches him a lesson. No, I don't know. They might end up together. I forget. I'm gonna have to find out. Pretty sure they end up kissing or some shit. But yeah, that was a good way to do it. I just hate the whole, well, you can't talk to her because you're just afraid, because you're afraid of rejection. I'm a shy girl. Like, I just kind of hate that, because nobody's like that.
A lot of people like that.
So afraid that they can't even fucking, like, bring up a word.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody like that.
Or like tongue-tied, usually.
I don't know.
Or like stream of consciousness type shit where you just blurt out shit.
Like, I'm just in the camp where it's like, hey man, the worst that somebody can say is no. Like,
Well, it's shown in isekai, so they're probably like high schoolers.
yeah, but they never even talk about going to school.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, even the other characters don't talk about going to class, like most of those kinds of shows.
Doesn't really matter. 'Cause that's usually like, they usually use the school shit to like set up drama stuff, type of shit.
Or, like, as filler.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's more... Like, Dan to Dan has... well, they met in school, so they keep the school thing running, and it actually goes really well together.
I wish the show would have took like a gumball approach.
Which show?
Dan to Dan.
Like, Gumball, like the fucking Cartoon Network show?
Yeah.
I despise everything you just said then.
Why?
I hate that show.
What's wrong with it?
That and the Steven Universe show, man. Those two are like... I despise those shows.
That show's ugly too.
I know. I can't believe it was like popular.
Yeah, it was popular with a bunch of weirdos. 'Cause like, I see those gems transform once and I'm like, that is sex. Why are you depicting sex?
Oh, jeez.
Disturbing.
Yeah, see, I hardly remember anything about those two shows because I saw them once and I pounded them out of my brain.
Yeah, they like do this little dance and then they just like thrust together and transform.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like,
weird.
whatever happened to good old shows like Billy and Mandy?
Yeah.
Or the...
Really, it wasn't very good looking either.
No, it looked like shit, but it was a fun show.
Did you like the companion show of that?
Never seen it.
Heard
Heard of it, either.
Was like Evil Con Carne.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. If you don't have Grimm in it at all times, I didn't want to watch it. Like, Grimm was just like, he was just a fun character. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, I could never get into Foster Sam of Imaginary Friends in case he's like in love with that show.
Why didn't you like that one?
I also thought it was super ugly. And
Back
also,
at Squarehead.
yeah, all the characters are just designed really strange. Like, I get it, they're imaginary friends, but like, I don't know. It also seemed like they're, like the people in the show, the characters,
Yeah.
their color palette was extremely, like, bright and booming, and the background was like beige and yellow and like, I don't know, it just didn't fit together for me.
Oh.
Like, it's like we were talking about color palettes earlier, like, I want everything to match the aesthetic and not feel like I'm watching cutouts in a different world that they shouldn't be in. If that makes any sense. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's why, like, I love, well, I can't say I love it because I haven't watched, like, a shitload of it, but I really do like, what's that show you told me about the other day? You were talking about, I mean. With Finn.
Oh,
Yeah.
Adventure Time.
Yeah, Adventure Time. That is the same palette, through and through, fun Adventure Time story.
How'd you feel about regular show?
No. Absolutely not. It's like, what's the other show on Adult Swim? It had the blue jay and the raccoon.
That's a regular show.
Oh, okay. I thought it was called something else. No, I thought that was a very boring show. Like, half the time they're just talking and walking.
Yeah. I don't know, it was a weird show, truthfully. You watched a lot of it?
Watched a decent bit of it. Because I was waiting on something else to pop on. I forget what it was. It was always like, remember how back on Adult Swim there was a line of shows and they were always the same order?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was waiting for Futurama to come on. Which again, color palette, all the same. And looks good. Some weird designs, but still looks good.
Yeah. Trying to think of, like, you probably hate the Oblongs and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Squidbillies.
Squidbillies is just so funny.
There was like, I don't know what was up with it, man, on Adult Swim, but it seemed like they were just like, hey, we'll just let anybody make a show. I don't care.
12-ounce mouse.
What is it?
12-ounce mouse.
Never even heard of that.
That was like fucking crazy low budget.
Yeah. Like, this is how the lineup went. It went, I think, well, originally a regular show wasn't around, so it was Futurama, then Family Guy, then Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which that starts your low budget right there. But it's like the best low budget. And then Metalocalypse, still low budget, still fun. And then they were like, hey, let's, I'm not going to shit on Robot Chicken for it because it was claymation and that was very creative, even though I don't like it.
Yeah.
But then they were like, let's throw Squidbillies in there. Let's throw, what was the one with the really shitty fucking looking drawing characters, had a coach in it?
Fucking home movies.
Yeah, home movies. So there's Squidbillies, home movies.
Home movies was one of the original Adult Swim shows.
Yeah, it was. But that was on way later, so I hardly ever watched it. When I did see it, I was like, ugh. They're like, let's just throw all these fucking shows in here where people had like no drawing skill whatsoever and also no writing skills, so most of it is just talking and pausing, something minor funny happens, and then it moves on. Like, I fucking hate Bob's Burgers too. I think that show is super ugly. And super pausey.
Bob's Burgers weird.
Like, I don't like watching a show where they're having a conversation pausing every 2 seconds.
Yeah, I just feel like about Ren and Stimpy and like SpongeBob.
SpongeBob when I was a kid, it was alright. Like, I'll never say it was a great show, but I did watch it day one.
Yeah.
And I kept watching it. And I'm not gonna say it's great, but for what it was a good show. For what it was.
The dude that voices SpongeBob's like super talented.
Yeah. I do know that.
He's not the same dude that voices Fry, is he?
I don't know. I don't know. I think, to me, the perfect cartoon is Futurama.
Yeah.
But, like, as far as Ren and Stimpy goes, and Real Monsters, and fucking...
Yeah, Real Monsters. Another one.
What's that other disgusting ass show? Angry Beavers?
Angry Beavers wasn't that disgusting. It was hilarious.
I thought they were just all piss poor cartoons.
Angry Beavers is like my favorite.
Like, I hated Nickelodeon cartoons. Hated. And then I was like, alright, let's just switch over to Cartoon Network, because we didn't have Cartoon Network at my house. We had it at my grandma's house in Wellsburg, so every time I went there, I just fucking ate that shit up. So it's like, all Johnny Bravo, Kids Next Door. Kids Next Door is a fucking great show. Even though everybody looks ugly as fuck.
Codename Kids Next Door.
Yeah.
He made some other cartoon too. Forget what it was.
Well, there was a lot of like 90s, early 2000s that all had like the same aesthetic.
Yeah.
So, like, there was that one dude, who's the artist that drew all that shit, like the Rugrats? Like I think he made the Rugrats or like did all of the design work for it or some shit.
He did the Rugrats. It's a very specific dude that went on to make, he did one of the videos one of the shorts in the Animatrix. He did,
We're talking about
series, and then he did that, the Conqueror anime about Alexander the Great.
We're talking about the dude that died from AIDS, right?
Nah, that's some Asian dude with like a very weird, specific style.
No, this is a Nickelodeon dude that did shit for like he was like an artist, like a true artist.
Yeah.
And like had his own.
Animation for the Rugrats is a weird Asian dude.
Okay, then we're not talking about the same dude. I can't remember his fucking name, but he had a very specific art style. Just like you're saying. But this dude wasn't Asian. He was white. But, yeah, like, back then, whenever that dude was around, Nickelodeon had, like, a very specific aesthetic. It was very strange.
Yeah. That's why I was wondering about SpongeBob, because, like, I think SpongeBob is, like, super annoying, and it, like, borders brain dead, but, like, the rest of the shit around it is funnier, and, they have those, like, extreme close-ups where they put, like, a shit ton of detail into the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering how you felt about that.
It's a neat little thing. I know exactly what you're talking about. It honestly kind of makes me grossed out, though, sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like Cat Dog. Cat Dog fucking, some of the shit in that, like, grosses me the fuck out, but I will forever love Cat Dog.
Yeah, that's why I asked about Ren and Stimpy. Like, the pinnacle of the gross out shit.
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy was just too much.
Yeah.
It was just like, let's base everything around this. In fact, how about we make Ren a sex fin operator?
Make Ren just like the worst person ever.
What was he anyway? He was a wallaby, right? Or kangaroo?
That was Rocko's Modern Life.
That's what I'm thinking of. What am I thinking of? Oh yeah, now, okay, Ren and Stimpy, yeah, also gross. Rocko's Modern Life is what I was thinking of the whole time though. Also super gross ass show.
I love that show.
Really?
Yeah.
See, my sister loved fucking Angry Beavers and Rocko's Modern Life.
There was one episode where Rocco is, yeah, that was the one where he was line operator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they had like he was chewing his nails and he's like chewing them to nubs.
I remember this.
Yeah, that's like
from when I was like 8.
Episode.
Yeah.
They had to do like this 12-step program.
Yup. I remember.
Yeah,
they moved that shit to Spike TV. Back then. That's why it went off the air on Nickelodeon and shit. Or Cartoon Network, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking Ren and Stimpy did the adult party cartoon. And that thing is just fucking retarded. Like they let the creator do whatever he wanted to do. And like people always argue like, oh, you should let the artists do whatever they want to do. Like shouldn't censor them. I just think of the fucking adult party cartoon and I'm like, well, maybe not.
We've lived through this.
There's a scene. I don't know how long it lasts, but it feels like it lasts 15 minutes. where Ren just like pulls the legs off of a caterpillar and it's just like screaming in pain. And
I
it's like,
remember this.
what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yep. Yeah, I don't know if like the most popular episodes were just like the ones that I saw, but everything you're saying, I remember these things. It's not a good thing.
Dude was on Pornhub for a while, I think.
What was?
Adult party cartoon, Ren and Stimpy. Cause they show like a lot of nudity in it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I just remember the adult party cartoon, like quote unquote. But yeah.
Yeah, like they start off and like they're at the beach and Ren is like a towel boy in a women's restroom and he like stands on their bubbly tits.
Nice.
It's like weird.
Well, good for him.
Yes.
So
They're like a super pervert in that one.
So Rocco's Modern Life. Dipshit's name is a cow. I forget his name. Oh, it's just Heifer.
Yeah.
I remember them just calling him a heifer. So I was like, I know he's a heifer, but like, what's his name? But what was Rocco? Was he like a wallaby?
Yeah.
Okay, what was Ren then?
Ren was a chihuahua.
And what was Stimpy?
He was supposed to be a cat, I think.
Oh. Well, that hurts.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a cat at all except for his ears.
I mean, he has little whiskers, I'm pretty sure, doesn't he?
Probably, but everything has whiskers.
True.
Asuka's whiskers are hilarious. I think they like fall out or something. But, cause how, curly her hair is, they just come out all like scraggly and fucking wavy.
Yeah. But anyway, back to Shangri-La. We basically watched, like, what would be a first season, which is 12 to 13 episodes. I went a little farther, just because I was bored, and I like it. It gets better. It's not bad at all, even to start with, I don't think. How'd you feel about it?
I liked it. I don't usually like isekais, which are like, essentially like, person transported to another world. This is a video game one where the person has more knowledge of the world, or like can have more outside knowledge of the world, unlike like SOA, and I forget exactly how dot hack sign worked and, you know, the popular isekai.
Dot hack was really weird. Like,
yeah, it's like somebody was chosen and they got the rainbow bracelet, which was like the coolest looking thing, at least to me.
What, that gold thing?
The weird bracelet that the main character had on that had like digital stuff shooting out of it.
Yeah, well, that's going to be my question to you. Did you watch the one where it was Kite who had it? Or the one where it was this kid that basically won like a drawing and he got Kite's outfit and his sister got the girl's outfit or whatever?
I watched the original.
Okay, so I watched the other one.
Dot hack was weird because there's the two of them, right?
Yeah.
It was one of those animes where I could never find like a good chunk of episodes. It was always like,
same.
Here's like, a certain arc, or here's part of an arc, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, I found one website, I'll tell you later, but it's supposedly shut down now, I just haven't went to it. But I'm sure we could find it on Crunchyroll, now that we have that. But, yeah, I watched the other one, and it was super weird because the girl and the guy who got it, who won those contests or whatever, their brother and sister but they haven't seen each other because of, like, their stepbrother and sister, maybe? I don't know. And there's, like, a weird love interest between them, it seems like. Or maybe it just seems like that by the way they word it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's the way throw in the weird cousin thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the one chick that his family, like, helped raise her, and she's like, oh my god, I'm in love with my cousin!
Yeah.
Or my brother, because she just calls him her brother anyway. It's like, what the fuck?
That's the weird reoccurring thing.
Yeah. Anyway, we keep bouncing off track on this. You don't usually like isekais and...
I usually don't like more lighthearted anime. And it's kind of both. It's still kind of enjoyable. Because it has its serious moments. There's like some weird tension, like, whenever he meets the PKers, he meets the pencil chick that he knows from previous games. They're making like a huge deal about him, entering the city. And like, then he has to run from them. It's like, he's just afraid that they're gonna stalk him and PK him as soon as he leaves the city.
It's because of that rabbit.
Yeah.
Like,
he was acting like the attack master whenever he meets her at the end. He's like, whenever she sends him the friend request, he's like, oh, is this some kind of ploy? She gonna cut me down? And it's like, well, you're in the city, you can't really get cut down.
I think you couldn't. Oh yeah, I guess you couldn't. Yeah. But, I think it's because he was already attacked by 4 people just trying to get into the city, and then running through the city, he had to run from all of them, and then trick them. So he was probably like, fuck, it could be another person after me.
She's just worried about getting, like, grief.
And it's all over, like, the fact that he encountered this unique scenario, and why the fuck does he have an NPC bunny on him that talks, and that's not normal.
Yeah.
So they want to fucking know, because the game isn't mapped out, like, at all. Like, online, they find, like, you know, general useful information and general things, but it's one of those video game MMOs in an anime where it's like, hey, we don't know anything close to the whole thing of this world.
Yeah.
So everybody's like thirsting for their own bunny rabbit, their own information. So. And I guess if those bunnies die, they don't come back. It's an NPC that does not come back. Or some shit. So, there's that.
Real quick before we go. Guess how many turns it took me to beat the last boss whenever I beat Ascension level 6 with the Silent?
10.
4.
Gnarly.
Yeah.
Got that stack.
I had accuracy, which makes your shivs do 6 more damage. I have this wrist blade that makes cards that cost 4 do 4 more damage. I have this card that makes you pay 1 energy and get 4 shivs. So I was just shivving the fucking shit out of everything.
Like a prisoner trying to get out of the dungeon.
Oh, dude, it was crazy. And then I have this shuriken fucking relic that's like every 3 attacks you get another string. So I have those 4 blade dance cards that summon 4 shivs, and I was just fucking murdering shit.
So, overall, good show?
Yeah.
Alright, guys. Wind Waker's next. Sorry for a quick cutoff. Mike has a football game to go watch. And we're pretty much done with the show anyway. So, Wind Waker's next. and then I will pick an anime, and Mike will pick a game, and then we'll just keep rolling it back and forth. Later.
Adios.